Welcome to the Iron Will podcast, where we talk about overcoming adversity and challenges, creating the life we truly want, and how we use iron therapy to improve our mind and body. No matter what life throws at us, we need to develop an iron will to push through whatever stands in the way to becoming the very best version of ourselves. It's never too late, but now is the time for action. Welcome to episode 208 of the Iron Will podcast. Current training. So with a lot of the changes in the last 75 to 90 days, going into closing the gym and changing the business, I had the goal of the bodybuilding show, and I went down from 397 to about 301, 302 until about July, which is really, really good. And then going into end of July, as I started to contemplate making those changes, training kind of took a little bit of and training still went well. It's nutrition that kind of derailed a bit. And then once I made the decision and pulled the trigger and closing the gym, well, the month of August and into September was just a gong show. And now, like everybody, when we're under stress, we're going to deal with it in certain ways. I no longer drink, so there's not that happening, which is good because I don't think I would have been able to accomplish anything under that kind of situation. But for me, obviously, it's the calories, it's the chocolate fantastic treats, it's the stress eating, the emotion eating, and the weight went from 302, 301 to 338 within about 6 weeks. It didn't take long. Long hours, physical demands. So then when I got to food, I just ate whatever. So there's all kinds of things to look at and to do that kind of stuff with, right? So at the end of the day, we had to, just put a few things on the back burner and understand that, when you've got a big situation going on, sometimes there is going to be a little bit of a derailment. So at the end of the day, once I got through it, I started back on my diet. I'm back down to about 320 right now. The other thing I started incorporating more was back into the heavy lifting. I needed that release. I needed to punch out a little more aggression, and nothing makes me feel better than hitting the heavier bench. It had obviously dipped a bit when I was focusing on the bodybuilding and working on that. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to throw something back into my training that would kind of just help me mentally, be a little more of a positive for me. And like I say, benching makes me happy. So right now I'm back into the heavy lifting at the same time. I'm still training on average twice a day, cardio in the mornings, and then hitting the weights, heavy bench on Tuesdays, volume benching later on in the week, legs on Mondays. So the physique is changing. The body's changing quite a bit. Getting back on working on the weight a little bit, especially now that things are settling in and calming down. But it quickly, a good habit that's still new is, once it derails, it's hard to get back on, right? So to lose all that weight, my food was on point. I was eating really well. The meal planning was there. The meal prep was there, and it was working. Now I'm at a point where I have to kind of restart that engine, right? And it's there and I'm doing better, but I really have to turn around and say, okay, let's focus again. So kind of what I'm trying to do is, as one area of the life gets a little smoother, the business, the different things like that, as that gets better, then I'm looking at bringing more effort back into the other things I was working on. So like the bodybuilding. So someone was asking me, and the reason why I want to doing this episode on training is that a lot of people have been asking me, where am I going? Am I still going to do the bodybuilding show? I'm getting ready for some heavy bench. And the answer is yes to both. But as I was saying, is coming out of the turmoil, I kind of needed to just deal with that, obviously, first, and understand that it's hard to run everything perfect at the same time. I know I'm not there yet. I'd like to be there. I'd like to get to the point that no matter what happens, I can be stoic and, food's always 100%, training's always 100%, and at the same time deal with, a big turmoil. I think one of the goals is to get to the point where I don't run into big turmoils anymore, right? So I don't sit there and have a calamity to deal with or a huge change to deal with. And I think for me, that is what's going to make a huge difference moving forward and acquiring and attaining my other goals is have my house in order as much as possible. So getting back to eating a little bit better, getting back to getting leaner, but maintaining the strength, that's kind of where I'm holding right now. So I'm about 320. I slowly want to bring it down, 5 pounds a month. I want to try to hang on to as much of the strength. In fact, I'm building the strength. It's funny because last night I hit a leg workout, and I usually work out in the mornings for legs, but I did it last night because it was the day was busy. And I'm just focusing on leg press and leg extension and leg curl. And I got to tell you, it was a great leg workout. The leg workouts have always been intense, but it's the first leg workout where my legs felt really strong. Like on the leg press, I'd go up to every leg press is a bit different, but I do a lot of reps, and I'd go up to 4 plates a side. Well, last night I went up to 6 plates a side, then a big strip down set where I would just do 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, taking a set of plates off all the way down, no break, and then move on to the other leg stuff. It was a great leg workout. So it was cool to sit there, and any of you guys that are working out, it's awesome when you're in the middle of the workout and you're working hard and it feels great. You feel powerful. You feel the thickness of the muscles. It's a great feeling. And that's something I'm really happy that I did do with going back to the bodybuilding, was get more in tune with feeling the muscle that I'm working on, right? Working on getting it full of blood and pumped and engaged, and I could feel it all the way through the movement. That's been phenomenal, and I miss that, and I'm really glad to be back at that. And I believe there's been a really good carryover into my benching. 2 week, every second week I go a heavy single. Every other week I do a heavy set of reps. And, I'm back to towing with 600 pounds on the bench. It was funny because I did that last Tuesday, and it was a pretty decent rep. I stuck with it. I worked it hard off the chest, a little bit of help through the transition, locked it out. My spotter is really good. He knows when to help me, just enough to keep it moving, and it really allowed me to perform as much of the rep as possible. But 8 weeks ago, it was 535. So really good progress on that. But I'll tell you, when I got off that 600, usually what happens is after a heavy set, I'll drop it down to 455, and I try to rep out, get as many reps as I can, and build the reps. I call it a back off set, I guess. And usually when I come off that heavy single and I drop down to the 450, the first 2 or 3 reps feel light as a feather. And on this one, when I grabbed that 450, it felt as heavy as the 600 did. So that tells me I really, really pushed the nervous system in the workout, which is good. That's what I'm there for. But it took a lot out of me. So I did a back down set. I got like 5 dirty reps. And I really was hoping for 8 based on how things were progressing. Then I moved on to some incline. And then I quickly realized I was just done. I was just burnt. The next morning, I tossed and turned all night because the nervous system was fried, a little bit of pre-workout. And then the next morning, I woke up and my vision was blurry. I was blurry for about, the first 2 or 3 hours in the morning. And these are all signs that I really, really taxed the nervous system, which is good. But then I spent the rest of the week kind of backing off. So I still got the workouts in, but I reduced the weight. I reduced the intensity. I focused on just the blood flow, worked on eating a little bit better. So I think that's what I obviously felt last night, is that the recovery in the nervous system. So at the end of the day, training's going really well. It's really cool to have that and to see that. I enjoy the change in the physique. Obviously, there's a lot of room left to go for sure. But I mean, I'm wearing a 2XL t-shirt most of the time and stuff, and it's more chest and arms and gut, which is kind of nice. And just feeling really good about myself, which is nice. It's very empowering. It's very important to me. And really, that's why I got into training, is I wanted to be stronger and I wanted to be more physically capable. And like I was saying a couple episodes ago, how I'm really enjoying the workouts. And it's great to have that. It's great to have that back in my day. And, there's a couple of days a week where I work out only once, or I don't work out. And it's kind of weird. I have those days where I'm like, oh, what if I should go do a workout? Then I'm like, well, what am I going to work out on? And then I'm like, you know what? You're good. It's all right. Right. So great place to be. Great place to be after, we're October now, coming up on 10 months really of work since I decided that I no longer wanted to be 397. now that, like I said, things are settling in with things with the business and wrapping up the old business and moving forward on the other one, even with the stress that comes with that, there's room now for me to get back focused on the eating again and eating better and I really want to try to get that under control by, end of October, beginning of November. So going into the holidays, I'm back down another 10, 15 pounds. When you go through Christmas, you're going to eat up a little bit. So I want to enjoy Christmas, but then right back into it. And then bodybuilding, I'm going to look at something in June 2020. It's still a goal I want to do. I still want to bucket list that motherfucker, as I always like to say. So that's kind of where I'm at with things overall. And at the same time, just, get a lot of other things done. But the workouts are very important because I'm at a point now where they empower me mentally, but they also empower me physically. They've given me the strength to endure some of the big changes that I went through with the business, but they're also going to make sure that I've got that blood flow and I'm awake and I'm engaged so that when I go out through the rest of the day, I'm online. And to me, that's what's super valuable. So even, most of the mornings is when I hit the cardio and it's a stationary bike for 35 minutes, but it was 5 minutes when I started. So it built up on that. But getting that in, the rest of the day just opens up. I'm awake. The blood's been flowing. I've warmed the body up. There's been some breathing. Oxygen's gotten everywhere. It's just a much better way to engage the day forward overall. And I'm really pumped about that. I really like it. And it makes me look forward to the weight workout that's going to come in the evening for most evenings and things like that. So that's what's really sharp. And I'm really happy to be in that place again. It's been a long, long time where working out is a priority and working out is a huge benefit to what's going on over, with the brand. But because I'm better, I'm stronger, I'm healthier, I'm fitter. Sometimes I can't see for a couple hours, but that's all right. All right. The hangovers used to be a lot worse than that. So it's definitely a great place to be compared to that. But that's why it's so important, guys and girls, that we get out there and we exercise. And not every workout has to be 1,000 reps and a grind. Like I said, that steady state in the morning is super important. But some good intense workouts, get the blood flowing going, get the adrenaline going, right? And also it's a chance for you to get some shit out of your system, right? Take some of that stress and things that are pent up and just drive it into, sets and reps on the barbell, right? Again, that's the whole thing of the iron will and the game of the iron is, using iron to make us tougher physically and mentally. And there's no greater feeling than coming out of a workout spent. You got the endorphin rush, you got the blood flow, the brain's on fire. There's no better feeling. It's phenomenal. It's empowering. So I can't recommend it enough, obviously. But at the same token, I'm really happy to be in this situation. So get out there and work out, guys. And like I said, I'm going to still hit, I've got that goal, a 600-pound bench coming. I am going to hit that bodybuilding show. So 2020 is going to be pretty exciting overall. There's going to be some big goals and good drivers to keep me moving forward and just make me a better version of myself. So I'm looking forward to it. Guys, that's all I have to say on that for now. Head on over to Iron Hoss Gear. Use the code word IRONWILL to save 20% off some current training gear. And as always, guys, work hard, motherfuckers, and I'll talk to you guys later.